You hear it talked about on broadcasts frequently, but rarely hear it explained. The Michelin Endurance Cup is basically a championship within a championship. Consisting of the 4 Endurance Cup rounds of an IMSA season, the Michelin Endurance Cup provides an opportunity for teams to compete for a championship while only running those 4 long races. The schedule kicks off with the season opening Rolex 24, before heading to Sebring for the 12 hours of Sebring. During the summer months, the 6 hours of the Glen are included in the championship, and then it's all rounded out with Motul Petit Le Mans. Now, the Michelin Endurance Cup hasn't really existed for all that long. The championship was actually introduced in 2014 as the Patron North American Endurance Cup. Now, what else happened in 2014, might you ask? Well, that was the first year of the merger that brought together the former Grand-Am Sports Car Series and the American Le Mans Series. Now, as I mentioned, the championship consists of 4 races, but points are definitely not distributed the same way as a normal race. Points are handed out at various points in these 4 races, and almost create a bit of a race within a race. The race leader in each class at the specified time gets 5 points. Second place gets 4, third place gets 3, and all other competitors that are running get 2 points. Now, as I mentioned, they're handed out at various points of the races. At the Rolex 24, for instance, they're awarded at the 6, 12, 18-hour, and 24-hour marks. At Sebring, they're handed out at the 4-hour mark, the 8-hour mark, and at race finish. For the 6 hours of the Glen, they're just handed out at the 3-hour mark, as well as the 6-hour mark, which is race finish. And then at Petit Le Mans, they're handed out at the 4-hour mark, the 8-hour mark, and race finish. All of the points collected are then added up at the end of the season, and you have yourself a Michelin Endurance Cup champion. Now, one of the other byproducts of the creation of this Endurance Cup is that you frequently see teams coming over from Europe just to compete in that championship. It's not just teams coming over from Europe, though. Many of the teams that are based in North America may add a second car to the grid to compete just for the Endurance Cup championship. Heck, and there's still some teams that just show up for those 4 Endurance Cup rounds. Take the Action Express Racing number 48 car, for instance, who has done this for the last couple of years. Really, the great thing that this Endurance Cup does is that it enables cars, teams, and drivers to compete for an IMSA championship without having to commit to an entire season, the costs, the time commitment that's associated with that. And ultimately, the result is that there are larger grids for those Endurance Cup races. Now, it should be noted that these are very high-profile events, but still, nonetheless, the grids are always boosted for those Endurance Cup races, with either teams that are competing just in the Endurance Cup Championship, maybe some teams that are coming over just to compete in a one-off race, but they still always seem to draw pretty good grids. Now, the Michelin Endurance Cup is only one championship that teams can compete for in IMSA. You can learn about all the other championships that drivers can go for, as well as the sport itself, right here. Big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. If you too want to support the show, then you can head to patreon.com/offintheesses. Once again, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great race weekend and doesn't go off in the S's.